What's up, Nuggets Nation? Welcome back to Nugget Numbers. I'm going to be doing a game overview of the Nuggets versus the Pelicans. So let's get into it. First off, it was a big game because Nikola Jokic sat out. If you didn't see, he was sitting out with right calf soreness, which is super funny because if you know, you know. I hope he feels better. We got a game tonight against the Suns, so I'm thinking he's playing. I think it was more rest to make sure that we play the Suns well, and Jokic is 100%. But so it was a big game because with Jokic out, you got to see how the rest of the team performs. Thomas Bryant got the start for Jokic, which I thought was interesting. I think they mainly did that for two reasons. One, to kind of give Thomas Bryant a chance to prove himself, and two, to keep Zeke on the bench to continue continuity, right? If he continues to play with the other bench guys later on in the year, if he's playing with the bench guys, it's not going to be any difference, right? So that was big. But before the game, when I got the news that Jokic was out, I kind of put in some pregame thoughts, and I just wrote them down, so I'll go over them quick. It was with Jokic out, I'm looking for big games from Jamal and Bruce Brown. I figured Jamal, obviously he runs the front court, right, or the first team. He runs the starters with Jokic out, and I figured Bruce Brown was going to have a good game for running the bench. So that was kind of what I was looking for. I also said I would love for Bryant to just come in there and prove himself, have a great game, prove that he should be on the team, prove that he should be playing as the backup big. They gave him the golden opportunity to do that because Valanciunas is it Valanciunas? I believe it's Valanciunas, the center for the Pels. He's pretty good. He's a solid player. He's nothing to shy at, but he's not. I think he would have been a perfect matchup for Thomas Bryant. Like, I feel like they're both pretty similar. They can shoot. They're about the same size, so it was a good proving ground for Thomas Bryant. So those were kind of my pregame thoughts, right? Jamal and Bruce need to run the starters and the bench, and it's a good opportunity for Bryant to prove himself. Just kind of going through, nothing really stuck out in this game. The Nuggets did end up losing. It was a tough game, but I'm still here to do the overview because there was a couple key things that I saw that I really ended up liking. And with the Nuggets losing, I don't want to say I expected it, but when you have someone that controls the offense as much as Jokic, and he is the Nuggets team, like without him, the Nuggets are one of the worst teams in the league. And it sucks to say, but it's true. I mean, stats back that up, numbers back that up, plus minus backs that up. So with Jokic out, you don't expect them to win, unfortunately, but it would have been an awesome surprise. There was a couple key things that I saw that I'm going to break down in this and just kind of hopefully we can continue doing some of those things and hopefully we can fix some of those things going into the postseason. Just looking through my notes for like the first quarter, it was pretty bad. They went 0 for 7 from 3 in the first quarter. Bruce Brown started to pick it up a little bit, so that was solid. Second quarter, Bruce was driving a lot, doing really, really good, but really bad defense. They went 0 for 10 from 3. 0 for 10 from 3 until Jamal hit two back-to-back shots. If I'm not mistaken, Jamal is the only player to score a three-point shot in this game for the Nuggets. It was a tough night shooting wise. Bruce Brown had a great chase down block in that quarter. Going into the third quarter, it started Bryant. Bryant basically got subbed out quick in the first quarter because he had two quick fouls. Didn't really play much of the second quarter. Started the third quarter. Literally the first play, he gets a foul. He really didn't take this. If he did take this opportunity, he didn't prove himself, which was tough to see. I wish Thomas Bryant could have been, the guy to come in off the bench and just really anchor that bench team, but he's not. Christian Brown had a great dunk on Ingram. Christian Brown has been playing great these past 2 games, really aggressive, really driving. Um, in the fourth quarter, they came out with great energy. They had, you know, the best way to describe it is what the commentator said. It was Jeff Van Gundy who said it. In the fourth quarter, it was within like 10 points, and the Nuggets weren't strong enough offensively to come back, but the Pelicans weren't able to put them away. It was kind of this middle weird ground where it was like Nuggets might get to 8 points and then go back to 12, 14 points, back to 8. They were just stuck in that weird little spot where neither team could close it. The Nuggets couldn't gain to get back in the game, and the Pelicans couldn't put them out, right? It was just in that weird spot. So it was an interesting game. Very, very, very poor shooting game, and I'm going to get into some numbers behind that. So just for example here, right? The Nuggets normally shoot 39.5% field goal percentage on 81 shots and 32 made. That's not what they normally shoot. That's what they shot last night. 39.5%. That's horrible. Just for perspective, the Pistons, one of the worst shooting teams, one of the worst teams in the league, they average 45.5. So it was a tough night for the Nuggets. The Nuggets are leading the league in 3-point percentage, right? Or they're one of the best 3-point shooting teams, and they averaged 38.6%. On 31 attempts. Last night they shot 14% from 3. 14. It was bad. They went 4 for 28 beyond the arc. The only player on the team that was a plus minus or a plus in the plus minus category was Zeke Naji. That was it. Everyone else was a minus. Every person that stepped on the floor was a minus. So that just shows you from the get-go, the Nuggets were not playing defense, and they could not shoot the ball. Like, it was tough to watch at times. They could not shoot the ball. But let's not harp on it too much, right? Nuggets are great. They're going to be good. Jokic wasn't in. So hopefully they'll turn around against the Suns tonight. But what can you really say? If they turn it around, great. If Jokic is playing, that's what probably going to happen because he creates insane opportunities for people. But it was a very, very tough shooting night for the Nuggets. 14% from the 3. You just don't see that often. It was very, very tough. And one thing that did stick out was, if you guys have seen my Michael Porter Jr. video before, it was the first video I posted on the channel. It was about how his confidence is, he really just struggles with confidence. If he starts off poorly and missing shots, he's probably not going to play well the rest of the game. And tonight was a perfect example. He went like 0 for 8 at the 3-point line, or 3-point. It was tough. But let's get into a player of the game, right? Let's get into some positive notes, right? Player of the game was easily Bruce Brown. Bruce came in. He understood his role, right? With Jokic out, he's like, I got to control the second team. And he did play a good amount of minutes with Jamal. But Bruce came in, he was driving a bunch, he was getting to the line, driving to the lane, getting fouls, making and ones. Didn't shoot the ball from the 3 that well because no one did this game. But he was making his presence known. Defensively, he had he had a chase down block, he had a block. He was doing really, really well. I loved Bruce's hustle. If we look at his stat line quick, he went 19, 5, and 4. So nothing like insane, right? He was second in scoring. This is something that I thought was cool. He was the second highest scorer. He was third in rebounding, and he was second in assists. So that just shows, like, when I look at a guard who rebounds, who's, not like a 6'7", 6'8" guard who can get in there. Like Bruce Brown, he's big, but for a guard to be second, or did I say third or second? For a guard to be third in rebounding is pretty big, because you would think, okay, the other two guys are centers, right? So that just showed me he was hustling. He was running around on the floor. Second in assist, he was getting people involved. Second in scoring, he was, when he needed to put it on, he did. So Bruce Brown was easily the nugget of the night. Him and Christian Brown are doing freaking fantastic these past two games. I'm loving it. And that's one of the positive things I want to talk about from this game. There wasn't many positives from this game, but this is pretty much it. Bruce and Christian have been playing solid. They're playing great defense. They're running on offense. Again, this game was wild. No one made a three, so it was tough to say they're shooting better, but driving to the lane, getting dunks, contact dunks, layups, and ones, and playing great defense. So if they continue on that trend, I think it's going to be awesome for the playoffs. I think Christian Brown has really earned himself a spot in the playoff rotation, which is crazy because Malone normally doesn't like to play rookies. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of pans out in the playoffs, if he's a part of that playoff rotation. But both those guys are doing great. The play of the game was easily Jamal Murray's inbound steal to Christian Brown's dunk. It was start of the fourth quarter or end of the third. It was around there that Jamal stole an inbound pass. Christian ran down and slammed it. It was such a big momentum play. Everyone in the crowd was going crazy. Everyone on the bench was going crazy. And to kind of even go back a step, the play before, Christian he took a guy to the baseline, had a wide open dunk, and just yammed it. Pelicans called a timeout. That timeout resulted in the steal from Murray to another Christian Brown dunk. So Christian Brown was really bringing the energy, and that was definitely the play of the game. I'll cut to a clip here.
The play here tonight. Denver's been a lot better defensively lately. Very strong. Thunder dunk by Christian Brown. The full court pressure here, and Murray gets the steal, and Brown, another jam!
It was awesome. It was so electric. I loved his energy that he brings. He brings great energy to the team, and that's why he's had a couple plays of the game in these last couple games. But let's get into the next game, the game that's going to happen tonight against the Phoenix Suns. When I really look at a team and I look at like who's going to win, who I think is going to win, I like to just look at key matchups, right? So Jokic, I don't think anyone can stop Jokic. So Jokic always wins his matchup, and against Ayton, he'll probably win that. Ayton's a solid player, but he's no Jokic. When I look at KD has Aaron Gordon guarding him most likely. KD's always going to get his. So it's tough because the Suns have those players who are always going to get theirs. KD and Book, they're always going to get theirs. You really can't do much to stop them from getting the points that they're going to score. It really kind of comes down to limiting the other players and the bench, right? I think our starting five will match up with their starting five and put up crazy numbers. It's going to come down to the bench. Who can score more off the bench? Who can play better defense off the bench? So it's going to be a really fun and interesting game tonight. I'm excited because a lot of people are saying this should be maybe a second round matchup because they think the Suns can. A lot of people say the Suns can win the West, and I disagree. I think the Nuggets are the clear favorite in the West, but a lot of people say they can win the West, so I'm excited to see. This is on par, if not higher, than the Bucks game and the 76ers game because they're in our division. This is someone that we're going to have to get through to get to the championship. So I'm excited to see it. It should be a really, really fun game. So it's going to be awesome. There's one more thing I want to talk about, and it's I put it in last night under storylines. The storylines have really just been about the MVP, right? Who's the MVP? Is it Jokic? Is it Embiid? Is it Giannis? And I think this game, the Nuggets playing as poorly as they did, just shows that the MVP should be Jokic, because MVP stands for most valuable player. So a player who brings value to a team. And I don't think there's a better way of describing that than showing the plus minus of when the Nuggets don't have Nikola Jokic, they are one of, if not the worst teams in the league. When they have Nikola Jokic, they are the best team in the league. No individual player in the league right now has that same power, right? Take away Embiid, they still have James Harden, they still have Tyrese Maxey, they have a freaking another MVP on the team in James Harden. Like, they're still, it's going to be a different team, but they're still solid. Take away Giannis, they have a bunch of championship players on that team who can really put up threes. They play great defense. Like, it just, to me, the value comes from the performance and the impact you make on the court. And no one has a bigger impact on the court than Nikola Jokic. But that's it for this episode. If you liked it, please like, comment, subscribe. If you're a Nuggets fan, hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to be doing game reviews of every game and weekly videos on different Nuggets players. So hit that. It's free. It helps me out, and I appreciate it. All right. Thanks, Nuggets Nation.